and think about you on your deathbed, 100
Mind if
years
I
from now.
drop in?
Yeah. 100 years from now, you're on your deathbed, you're surrounded by your family, your friends, your kids, your great grandkids, great great grandkids, and you're reflecting back over your life. You know that you only have a few more minutes, on this earth, and you have no regrets from this moment, this podcast forward. You have lived an absolute perfect life for you. And you're thinking, what are all the actions, the activities, the things that I did in order to elicit that feeling now on my deathbed?
Welcome to the Peaceful Pop-Up Podcast. I'm Ravi, your host. Together, we'll slow down, breathe, and explore grounded fatherhood with greater peace and presence. I'm grateful you're here. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Peaceful Pop-Up Podcast. I'm your host, Ravi. With me today, I've got Mike Aidala. Mike, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, cool. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Yeah, woke up earlier than I thought I was going to wake up. Got a nice run in. So feeling good and very peaceful, actually, at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we'll try to keep that going throughout the episode, but maybe we find some trigger points and see if your peace spikes into fight or flight, or who knows?
Let's do it.
We'll see. We'll go there. Well, Mike, one thing that I like to do on the show is let my guests get a chance to meet you. You have an impressive bio. I will take some time to share with the audience some of my favorite tricks of yours. I'm a big fan. But instead of going to your LinkedIn or Instagram or website and kind of reading, I like to check in with who you are in this moment. Are you open for a short game?
Sure, yeah.
You like games?
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Cool. So this game is called Head, Heart, Hara.
Okay. What's Hara?
Great question. Hara is your energetic center.
Okay.
I believe Japanese word for energetic center. Your Hara is about 2 fingers below your belly button.
Okay.
And it's your gut, it's your instinct, it's your truth. And it lives right down there.
Perfect.
But we got to go through the head and the heart before we can access our Hara. Okay, so you'll have about 30 seconds to speak from each place. And as we do, I'm going to have you place your hand on that place.
Okay.
As a somatic reminder that that's where I'm speaking from. Your head is where the facts about Mike live. Where you're from, what you do for work, what you studied, what you're maybe going to be studying. Just give it to us like you're at a networking event, introducing yourself the same way to 20 different people, but keeping it kind of surface, very factual, heady. From there, we'll have a chance to drop down to your heart, and you'll speak from I feel. And again, as present with what's really alive for you, and you can use some of the feelings from the offense to go there. And then from there, we'll drop down. I like to close my eyes to really speak truth. At the core of your being, what do you want? It can be for yourself, it can be for your community, your family, humanity, whatever's alive.
Okay.
Cool?
Let's do it.
All right, hand on the head.
Okay.
And when you begin talking, I'll begin energetically timing.
Okay. I'm Mike Aidala. I'm from New York. I'm not great with intros, but I work as a performance coach. Let's see. I like to run long distances, like to lift weights in odd ways. Have a Guinness World Record that I got recently this year. I love studying positive psychology, which is the science of human flourishing. So studying that at UPenn actually this year, a little bit more in depth. Those are some good facts about me.
Cool. We'll take it.
Okay, so go here.
Drop into the heart space and just fill in the blank. I feel. And we'll try to get a couple feelings that are alive right now.
I feel calm. I feel peaceful. I feel excited, like to see where the rest of this podcast will go and the games that are already starting. I feel like I'm building a different type of relationship with myself, like very recently, which feels cool. Yeah, those are some feelings.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay.
Ready for the hara? A little bit lower even, right below the
Okay.
belly. Really
Boom.
feel into that power center, that creative place. What's alive? What do you want?
What do I want? It's pretty simple. I want to be as honest with myself as possible.
Mm.
So I want to let what comes up come out, and I don't want to block it, but I want to live it through action. I love thinking, how can I apply the truths that are coming into my head or my heart or my hara out into the world. And when I do that, that's when I feel the best.
Brilliant. Love that. You feel complete?
Yep.
Head, heart, hara?
Head, heart, hara.
Got it out?
3 H's.
That's right.
I think hara is an H.
It's actually a J.
Is it? Okay.
No, it's an H.
Okay.
I'm a big alliteration fan. The peaceful papa, the head, heart, hara.
Got it. I like it.
Well, cool. Thanks for sharing. I
Mhm.
want to just double tap on a few of the things that you shared, just
Okay.
to get to know you a little bit more.
Cool.
From the head, you casually mentioned to myself and the listeners that you're a Guinness World Record holder. How many times are you a Guinness World Record holder?
2 times.
Nice.
Yeah, the first time though, that record has been beat.
No way.
Yes. So I just right now have 1.
Okay. What was the first?
The first was similar as a Turkish get-up, which is an exercise where you lay on your back, you hold a weight, and then you have to stand up and stand back down.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was the most weight lifted in Turkish get-up style in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just up and down for an hour.
Accumulating like thousands of pounds?
Yeah, like 13,000 pounds.
Okay.
So that was 2022.
Okay. And somebody was like, saw what you did, and they're like, oh, I'm going to take him down.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, what's tough with Guinness is there's so many restrictions on how you set the records or not. And with that one specifically, there's ways to make it easier, make it more difficult. So, like...
less weight, but more frequency maybe, or...
Yeah, you can kind of game it a bunch of different ways. The part that makes it tough is I used a average weight of like a 92-pound kettlebell, and so it's like on their side here, and you gotta pull it in and then press it up with one hand. And so you can kind of like, the rules say lift it up with one hand, but you can kind of use like 2 to get it like over and then up. But that going really fast could be like, one hand and over, 150 reps.
Yeah. Wow.
That and the same thing as you come down, like kind of holding it at the end and then putting it down. And so I was just very strict with how I was doing that because I didn't want, I want my like record to not count.
Yeah.
But if I ever go back and do it again, after seeing some of the people that beat my record, I might be a little more lenient with how I go and release that weight.
And then second world record, currently the holder.
Yeah, so that was the same exercise, but just the most weight ever lifted by Turkish get up. So that was the one I wish was around when I did it in the past.
Yeah.
That wasn't, I guess with Guinness, you can make up a Guinness record for most podcasts in a day or, whatever it is. And so as long as it's like measurable, they can track it, you can video it, it's easy to understand. People have records for like the weirdest stuff ever. Totally. But I guess Turkish get up's kind of weird. Like if you've never done it, then it's like, what is this exercise? But it's touted as one of the most difficult because it requires multiple ranges of motion, multiple planes of motion. You got to be strong in all these different types of ways. It's coordinated. For me, that's fun because it's like a puzzle on how to articulate it. And so that record hadn't been set when I did the most in an hour. But like, I don't know, probably now, like 9 months ago, I saw the record was at 170 pounds. And I was like, okay, I know I could beat that, but I also knew a lot of people could beat it at that weight. And so around Christmas time, it got to 200 pounds. And that's when I was like, okay, I know I can do that. Let me see what I can maybe beat that by. And, see if I wanted to bring some different awareness to a certain cause that was important to me through that record.
Oh, cool. What'd you end up choosing?
Veteran mental health and suicide prevention. So I've My grandfather was a veteran. He died by suicide.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so sorry. My grandfather was a veteran. He died by suicide when I was younger. That had a lot of effect on my family, and yeah, I'm a big mental health advocate, and so I wanted to support an organization called Mission 22 that brings resources to veterans and their families through a movement where you are literally on your back. You have to like stand up while this weight is bearing down on you. So there's a lot of through lines through all of that.
Yeah. Do you feel like that metaphor, that connection to something greater, like while you're in the moment competing, is it giving you some extra strength?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I put a picture of my grandfather actually on the ceiling.
Wow.
So as I'm standing up, I'm like, see him.
Wow.
And so you can, like, if you see in the video, you can see me like look up at it a few times, and yeah, it was definitely powerful. It's actually more, it feels more difficult in that instance because it's super emotional. And so I gave there was about 100 people at the gym I did it at, and they were all there supporting me, supporting that cause. And so I gave a little speech beforehand, and my parents were there, and so I was like starting to cry. I'm like, and then I'm like 10 seconds later, like lifting this heavy weight in this weird way. So it was a very cool experience to do something that I'm maybe best in the world at. And
no, not maybe.
Yeah, well, I say maybe because I don't know. You never know. But
in this moment, you can rightfully, factually claim I am the best in the world at it.
Yeah. In front of like people that really love and care about me, and I really love and care about them. So that was a cool moment in time.
If you don't mind me asking, what was your grandfather's name?
Raphael.
Cool. Strong. Was he a strong guy too?
Yeah. So my family's not historically athletic or big. Like, I'm not the biggest guy, but I'm 6'1", 220 pounds. And when we go with all my cousins, it's like they're all a lot shorter than me, and I'm like, the bigger guy.
Sure.
And so my dad's 5'7", my mom's 5'1", 5 foot. My sister's 5 foot. And so I remember growing up, I would always pray, like, I want to be Derek Jeter. So I want to be like 6'2", 200 pounds. That would be like perfect.
Yeah.
And so a little bit heavier, a little bit shorter. But my grandfather,
close, considering the
pretty
gene pool.
close. Yeah. He was the most athletic person in my family. He played a lot of tennis, actually. And so, growing up, my aunts and uncles would make like comparisons of me to him, but I mean, I don't have that many memories of him, just like a few playing like tennis, but that's it.
Cool. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah,
I love that. So Grandpa Raphael, athletic guy, war veteran, unfortunately battled some internal challenges that he couldn't overcome, and ended his life early.
Yeah.
What did that do? Was this your dad's dad?
My mom's dad.
Mom's dad.
Okay. Yeah, so that affected the way that my mom struggled with that, of course. So she was depressed, and it affected my relationship with her, not in ways that I really noticed then, but she was working through that as best as she could. And so I don't have like a ton of memories of that when I was really young.
Sure.
But suicide I think is like, I mean, it's not, it is a really tough topic. And so it's something that doesn't get talked about often, and there's a lot of shame around it, and there's a lot of questions around it because you literally can't ask questions. And so I always feel like when there's those things in life, they're really dark, and I want to like bring them out into the light and like just, I don't think there's any wrong way to communicate about things. And I do believe like holding them in just hurts us, and that hurts people that we're close with.
Yeah. Just want to take a moment to create space for that. I think that's, you speak about it really eloquently. It sounds like you also have a very personal connection to suicide, to even to dark thoughts. And what I loved when you shared from your hara is that you want what comes up to come out. And I think I know in my own journey, man, when I first got close with those dark thoughts within myself that I thought nobody would understand, that nobody else was having, I was so unique. Um, it was excruciating the first time I let it come out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
First with a therapist, another time with a romantic partner, but I thought that I would lose everything. Actually, I don't even know what I thought. It's just I know what it felt like. It was excruciating to get that out. In your experience, what do you recommend to the guy or gal who's listening, who's like, yeah, man, I've got this thought, this recurring thing that's really heavy, kind of dark. I don't know what to do with it. How do I let it in and through and out?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of different ways to go about that. Like writing it down can be helpful, because you're forced to put the thought on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Often there can be a shame with it, and
Mm-hmm.
so you're embarrassed about it. I did read a great book when I was early 20s, called Radical Honesty, which is pretty radical book, but essentially it's like we all want to be seen and loved and appreciated for who we are,
Mm-hmm.
but we all wear these proverbial masks because we want to be like appreciated and valued by other people in society.
Yeah.
And but what we really want is to take the mask off and then be really loved.
Mm.
And so the book outlines a process for doing that with another person,
Cool.
where you make these agreements and then you essentially reveal the one thing to the other person that you don't want to reveal to them, and they do the same thing, and then you do the second and third, and
Ooh.
by the time you're at the third or fourth one, you're just like hugging and you're like, oh, like
Yeah.
we're all human beings, we have weird thoughts and weird things going on, like cool. And then once you get those things out of the way, you really create the space for a more genuine connection, because even at some small level, if you're holding something back, people can feel that, you can feel that, and then your life can feel more performative, which is exhausting.
Yeah.
And like creates a bunch of other struggles down the line. So like Radical Honesty is an interesting book. Therapy is obviously great to be able to have a safe space to communicate that with. And then finding other people that are open to communicating things too. Like I think if you have an expectation for a reaction, that's where the damage can come into play. But if the win is just you speaking it to another human being, with no expectation, then you're doing it for you, which is the goal. I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah. Love that. Yeah, as you're sharing kind of that framework too, I think it's so important. Whatever the outlet is that we can find to let our inner self become externalized, that we feel safe doing so. Right? Setting a container, boundaries, guidelines, agreements, whatever those things are in the space where you have a chance to do some excavating and letting it come through.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary for sure. No matter how many boundaries, how safe, how welcoming it is, it's still difficult.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, I think you might resonate with this a little bit. It's like I'm big in nature-based like psychotherapies too. So communicating to people, but also just to like nature and like the environment can be helpful. And that was definitely helpful for me as I was going through different, evolutions as a person.
Yeah.
And so, finding, sounds kind of silly, but like trees or rocks or meadows or things to communicate with, it still kind of gave me that feeling of being heard.
Yeah.
And, I do feel like I got some responses, but they're just non-human responses. But it worked for me. I was like, oh, cool. I don't feel as alone, and I'm always in nature in some type of way, so I can I always feel connected.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think one thing I often talk about, I view my life and the life of my family a lot through the lens of the nervous system. And nature is the greatest co-regulator out there. So if I'm dysregulated and I don't have a human to connect with, just getting out into nature, it is inherently has the capacity to hold all of my stuff. The earth can hold my negative charge, the trees, the meadows, the rocks can hold all the other melodies, and And that's why when a lot of people go into nature, it's this like deep exhale of like, relief. So I love that you're taking that to another level, because the nervous system needs to feel safe in order to let its expression come through.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be in fight, flight, or like in an abusive relationship and then speaking my truth,
Yeah.
or like really feeling seen and heard and loved, right?
Mm-hmm.
But nature can do that. So I love that you brought that in.
Well, it's the most honest place.
Yeah.
And so, like, trees are gonna grow towards the sun. Animals are gonna eat and when they're hungry. And so I always think if I'm looking for my own truth or want it, I want to put myself in the most honest place possible. But I love that you're talking about holding it. Like, I've done a few quests, like wilderness quests, where I'll spend extended time in nature.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the exercises that I would do is it's called a death lodge. So essentially, you're releasing things that you want to die or no longer are serving you.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways is to like literally dig a hole and scream them into the earth.
Really?
Because, as you said, the earth, Mother Nature, whatever you like to call it, has held everything forever. And so that's like a great way of releasing stuff.
Wow.
That when you're, if I'm saying it now, like it can seem a little bit weird, but when you're in that moment and you're totally present, you're totally dedicated, it's like can be very cathartic and healing.
I can totally see it too. Just getting up to that place and digging a hole and really being there for it.
Oh yeah, all the dirt's like come back in your face and you're just like a kiddo who's like playing out in the rain and dancing in the mud. They're not like worried about the mud. They're just present.
Yeah. And even there's two things or many things happening, but the two that come through for me as I'm imagining you doing this is like, one is the catharsis, like the energetic release within yourself of screaming out whatever it is you're getting rid of.
Mm-hmm.
And the earth receiving it. Those are the two big ones, like the energetic release and that it's being absorbed.
Mm-hmm.
I think screaming for me too has been a really strong outlet. I do some non-traditional meditations that involve like yelling and screaming, and afterwards I always feel 10 times lighter. I think too, again, just like one of my purposes for this podcast and having these conversations is to introduce tools, practices, both conventional and non-conventional, to folks that are like, man, I feel like I've got some energy that I could release. Again, practical. If you can't get onto the mountain, dig a hole in the side and let it rip. Screaming in your car can be nice. And one I've done is screaming underwater. And I've tested it out. If someone's like 3 feet away from you and standing above the water, they can't hear you. So you could act like you're lap swimming and just spend a little bit extra time underwater and really let it go.
I feel like I might choke on the water.
Try it sometime.
Okay.
Take a nice big inhale, go under, and just let it out. Don't bring it back in.
Got it.
That's the key. That's the key. I think that's what I love about emotional fitness. And I know emotional fitness is a big part of your coaching practice. For me, emotions are energy in motion. So if I'm not letting emotions come through, then I'm not letting energy come through. And there's a block there. I think, for, again, bringing it back to dads, like sadness, grief, anger, just upset, rage. Like there's a lot of emotional material that I think it's like, where does this fit in? If I'm trying to be present and peaceful and provider, like, curious for you, if you want to speak to the audience just a little bit about maybe telling us about the constellation and the ways that you are a father right now and how you navigate emotions on your spectrum of fatherhood.
Yeah, so I'm not a biological father, but I've been with my partner who has a kiddo for 4.5-ish years. And so met him about half of his life now. He's just turned 9. And so I like to think of myself as parent number 3. But definitely, we have him for a lot of the week. So his dad will drop him off at school on Monday, and then we'll have him on until Friday, and then like one weekend out of the month. And so there's a lot of fun opportunities for me to, be a presence in his life and
Mhm.
support him. But it was, and it is a little bit now, not as much, but it was very tricky in the beginning to
Mm.
figure out what my role is,
Mm.
and um, and still is kind of hard because, uh, yeah, there's not as clear definition as if I was his biological dad.
Mhm.
And so the mantra that I use, and still do when when I first met his dad, or when I'm, uh, like when the family's all together, when him and his mom are doing stuff and I feel like I'm on the outside, um, is lead with love. And I think I'm just going to pour as much love into this person as I can. And then I'll feel good about what I'm providing or
Mm.
what I'm doing. Um, and so that's been really helpful. And like, if there's any instance where I could be doubting myself, I'll just look back on that. Like, okay, was I really leading in that way, or was I leading from like fear or something else?
Mm.
Um, so that was kind of how I've been navigating my role.
Mhm. Cool. That's interesting that you're finding yourself in this place of fathering or being a father figure. I like that, parent number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I could see the story I have is that, wow, it could be really easy to be really performative in that role of like, all right, I'm gonna get him all these cool toys and we're gonna go on like extra adventures. Like he's got to know that I'm like the cool dad, or like parent number 3 on paper, but parent number 1 in his heart. Or I don't know, I could just see some ego coming through of like, I've got to perform so that this kid knows that I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
and that I love his mom, or whatever the story is.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find just within yourself and your own journey of like being just really radically present with him, versus maybe a need to be performatively cool?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, I want him to like me. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Um, and it's a relationship I'm most proud of is
Mm.
mine with him, because if it's up to him, he probably wants his mom and dad together,
Mm.
which is normal. And like, I just keep reminding myself of that, like, oh, he's 5 or he's 6 or he's 7. Like, yeah, I'm the adult in the
Right.
situation. Like, and so there's also like I'm fortunate. Like he's a boy. He likes sports. He
Mm-hmm.
loves to play. He likes to
Mm.
roughhouse. Like I love to do all those things too. So we match really as like friends.
Yeah.
And then from that like foundation of play, that's where I can start to instill any lessons or
Mm.
create a safe space for him to, share whatever he wants to share.
Yeah. Wow.
But
It's fun.
that's what I try to just like I try to include him in a lot of the things that I like to do. And
Mm-hmm.
so um, it's nice because he likes to do some of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like to like try to introduce him to other aspects as well. And
Mm-hmm.
I am just a really curious person. So like, yeah, I like to, shoot baskets outside in the front yard, but I also like to like, draw, or I like to paint, or I like to, read, or whatever it may be. And so trying to show him like a, a bunch of different options
Mm.
for things that he can explore,
Yeah.
and then support him on those options.
Mm.
And he's got like the fantastic mom, so like she does all of those things too, and so it's really fun to witness her mothering, and then I get to like support that, and then kind of do my own thing with him in my own way.
That's cool. And
Mm-hmm.
is he very, I know you said he was more on like a sporty guy. Is he receptive to the drawing, the reading, the
Oh
painting?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's 9 years old, so
Right.
like he'll go through different phases, and he's really into his friends and different things now, which is awesome.
Mhm.
Obviously, want him to have like be supportive with his friends. So yeah, it's great. I mean, he'll one day he'll love football. The next day he'll love, or he used to like love Pokemon, or he'll love whatever it is.
Sure.
And so allowing him to love the things that he loves is the goal.
Mm. Do you feel like because he's not biologically yours that there's like less? You don't take me for the kind of guy that would be attached to having a child that like, he needs to be sporty or he needs to be artistic. Like I feel like you're good at letting someone become who they are meant to become. But I'm curious, since he's not biologically yours, does it feel easier to detach from like who he is?
I don't know. if it's easier or not, but I just want him to be the best him that he can be. That's actually like my wish for all people.
Yeah.
Is like, I just want you to be the best you, and like me to be the best me, and that's it. And so trying to set up things for him to experience that and be that is what I like to do.
Mm. I feel that from you. You know, it's cool that you're like a Guinness World Record holder multiple times. And you're like, no, you can be the best in the world at whatever it is that you're doing. You know, there's no like, no, I'm, you know, this guy, and good luck.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm naturally love supporting people, and I am curious, and I do love people.
Yeah.
And I love getting to the heart of what's going on.
Yeah.
And so I've done that from the time I was really little.
Yeah.
And so I like helping people, if I can, like just be more authentic, honest versions of themselves. And because I'm like non-emotionally attached to a lot of my clients, I can see things, different blind spots or shadow aspects in a way that, you know, they can't see because they're in it. Like we all have those. And so it's nice to be able to think of like the art of coaching of, okay, how can I help illuminate some things for this person so that the light bulb goes off for them and gives them permission to, you know, maybe parent in a different way, or try something that they haven't never tried before. Whereas I don't need to tell them what to do. Like I can help create the space for them to explore those options.
I think that's a really masterful approach to coaching, to not be like prescriptive, like you have to do X, Y, Z, but to create the space for them to find that internal place of like, oh, what if I did this? And then like celebrate that.
Yeah.
Hold them accountable maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, listen, I don't have all the answers to anything at all. I just do have a deep care, which I think is really important with coaching, and a bunch of tools and frameworks for how to set things up for people to explore themselves in a different way versus like, you know, everything's an option. It's like, cool, that can be really overwhelming. Yeah. And so let's figure out what's really valuable to you. And then we kind of put some of these boundaries in place, and we can always revisit that. And the analogy I use is like we're in this big house of life and we're walking down the hallway together, and you see a door that's interesting. I'm like, cool, I'll help you open the door. Like, you want to go inside? You don't like this room? No problem. Let's go back to the hallway. Or like, oh, you like it? Let's maybe you want to see what's down the hall a little bit more, and can just explore what is important. And doesn't mean that I don't want to get misconstrued that like if things are difficult, like you can just switch and do something else. Like, you know, sometimes of course you can do that, but I think there is a lot of value in doing difficult things.
It's cool that your coaching approach sounds like it mirrors the way that you're parenting, right? It's like, let's be curious. Let's try these different things. If you like that, let's do it more. If it didn't work, back to the drawing board. I think in my own journey, I can speak from that experience. Before having kids now, I would sign up for a triathlon or like train for something. I don't think I've pushed myself to a limit that I know that I'm capable of. But I will say that being now a dad, my time is limited. My energy is dispersed more than just going towards me or some endeavor. What would you say if I were your client and I was like, I've got this family responsibilities, but I also have this deep urge to sign up for a half Ironman or like really commit to training? How to navigate that?
We probably get down to some brass tacks of like, what does like supporting your family mean for you? What are the things in your life that are truly valuable? Happy to share like an exercise I use with that too, but then looking at how much time is required for all of those things, and then really saying like, oh, I don't have time, or I would rather spend this time with my family than train. Now the decision's easy because it's authentic to you, versus so often we don't take like what's the word I'm looking for, like reference, I guess, of our time. And it can just feel like we don't have any time. Like if we walk down the street and ask someone like, hey, do you have a lot of time in your life? Most people are going to be like, no, I'm always busy. And it's like, well, are you busy watching TV? Are you busy scrolling online? Like, and a lot of times the answer is yes to those things. Right. And so help people just organize their time more efficiently so that they
Mm-hmm.
can do things that are really important to them if those things are actually important to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm hearing. I had another guest on the podcast. He does energy audits. He'll go
Mm-hmm.
through his calendar and go through each commitment that he has. Is it like, is this giving me energy? Is this taking energy away, or is this like kind of neutral, but it's something I have to do just in the course of my day?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hearing a version of that, but also like, no, just brass tacks. How much time are you spending, and could you be better utilizing your time to get that hour of training in to do that, 50-mile race?
Yeah, I think it all comes down to your values. Like what's valuable to you. And I like the tagline of my coaching is a life of action,
Mm-hmm.
because life is actionable. Like we live it. We don't just think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so what are the actions that you're taking? Are those aligned with your values? And then if not, how can we eliminate some of those actions that don't align so you can create more space versus keep the stuff that's not aligned and just try to add more? Now you're overwhelmed with like the shit that you don't care about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I feel that. Yeah. Yeah, there are moments, stages of my life too, where I really want to get like hyper scheduled. Like I want to create these boundaries for myself so that I have some freedom. And then also that helps my family orient towards each day, each week. Um, and the reality of like toddler and baby, it's like, wow, take your schedule and you can make it. That's cute. Um, that's I think the thing that I've found the most challenging. Even this morning, I wanted to go for a run. I wanted to like move my body, and I know I'm gonna feel better in a podcast. I'm gonna feel more just like energized being with someone else who I know is prioritizing health and well-being. And the reality this morning is that my toddler was up at 5:30, and so my 6 a.m. workout was not gonna happen, at least not in the way that I envisioned it. Any tips there for like, it's one thing to do the time blocking and the energy audit, but then life happens. How to navigate?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know your like specific circumstance, and I have never had a toddler. So, but when I would do, if you were my client, if I was talking to you about
Yeah.
it, would be, is that time that you could block off? Like, okay, your toddler wakes up at 5:30. Is there anyone else in the house that can work with that? Can you make certain compromises with your wife or your partner, whoever it is, to give yourself that time?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And a couple mornings a week, my wife is willing to, because she's with the baby right now, and probably 2 mornings a week, I'll go 5:30, sometimes between 5 and 5:30 to the gym, and I'm gone until about 7:30. And she knows we planned that out the night before. And she's like, yeah, I got it for those 2 hours in the morning. And then it's kind of a crapshoot. Like maybe the toddler sleeps till 6:30, and so there's only 30-45 minutes of time where she needed to be on full duty. Or like this morning, toddler was up at 5:30, and that would have been extra tricky.
And it's not today wasn't one of those days.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you have your values,
Mm-hmm.
and then you know what the training time that you do have.
Yeah.
And so then you can, align certain goals with that. And maybe you're not running or training in a certain way, like at this moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had a unique window of perspective this morning where I did have that attachment to like, damn it, I wanted to wake up. It's like a cool morning. I was going to go for a run, and then I couldn't. And I was attached to that for a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was preventing me just from being fully present from the meanderings of a toddler at 5:30. But within a few minutes, I made the shift within myself. Like, all right, that's not happening. So how can I be just fully present for what is?
Mm-hmm.
And then I get back to what I truly value, is that connection and presence with the little one, and kind of those sweet morning hours anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, listen, if you really want that, I'm sure there's maybe other hours in the day where you could do that, or you could get to bed earlier so you wake up earlier, but it all comes down to how important is it to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is there any value in us going through that exercise, or does Do we kind of get a sense of that through this conversation?
I'll gladly share the exercise.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's super helpful. So it's called Deathbed Values.
Mm.
Essentially, you reverse engineer your life.
Mhm.
So, listeners want to go through this in this moment. I would tell you to close your eyes and think about you on your deathbed. 100
Mind if
years
I
from now.
drop in?
Yeah, 100 years from now, you're on your deathbed. You're surrounded by your family, your friends, your kids, your great grandkids, great great grandkids,
Mm.
and you're reflecting back over your life. You know that you only have a few more minutes, on this earth, and you have no regrets from this moment, this podcast forward. You have lived an absolute perfect life for you. And you're thinking, what are all the actions, the activities, the things that I did in order to elicit that feeling now on my deathbed? So you start thinking about these, and I want you to take them and put them into certain buckets, I'll call activity buckets. I'll give you two that I imagine would be aligned with you, and then try to think of 1 to 3 more. One would be quality time with your friends and your family. So any activity that can go with that goes into that bucket. And the other would be your health and your wellness, taking care of your body and your mental, emotional, spiritual, all the different types of health. Any activity that goes into those. Whenever you're ready, you can share, 1 to 3 more buckets where activities could go into.
Do you want me to externalize them?
If you'd like to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. One thing that's coming through is just providership. I haven't been there on the deathbed of any of my relatives, but there is this I also don't like to should on myself, but when I was younger and less mature, I shoulded on my parents, like, oh, you should have started these investment accounts for me when I was young, or you should have been wiser with your money. I'm still on that journey, but I love this idea on my deathbed that I was able to be a philanthropist to my lineage and my family, and just give it all away. I'm dying. I can't bring these material goods with me, so I want to have the systems in place to be philanthropically giving back to my family. Loved quality time, loved prioritizing my health and my wellness, so that I'm ripe and I'm old and I gave it all. And then the other that's coming through is that I shared myself fully. I've written a book in the past. This podcast is a version of wanting to share myself, my story, and just universal truth more fully. And I think there's more too, either more books, more opportunities for vulnerable expression of sharing, so that my grandkids and their kids could, if they choose to, tune into this digital library of their peaceful grandpa, which is wild to say out loud.
That's great.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah, that was cool.
So you got 4 buckets.
Mm-hmm.
Quality time, friends and family, philanthropic service or monetary support, health and wellness, and then service provide, or sharing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an exercise I don't like to rush with people.
For sure.
Have them do it. You can reflect back on it. But some of these things won't change too much. You might add one here or add one there.
Yeah.
I'll share mine. So it's those 2: quality time, friends and family, health and wellness, my business and the impact I can leave on the world, peak experiences. So states of awe, travel, different things like that, and then learning.
Mm-hmm.
And so the goal is to have every action that I take for the rest of my life be able to fit in those buckets. And so what I would do, and you can do this now or not, is think about on an average day, or maybe this past 10 days, how much time did you spend doing activities that were outside of those buckets? If someone is feeling like they're lacking confidence, they're anxious, they're struggling with like who they are or what they're doing, they're probably spending a lot of time outside those buckets. The numbers game that I'll play with this is if you count waking hours, so assuming you're sleeping 8 hours a day, you have 16 hours a day to live your life. And so if you're spending 2.5 hours watching, I never hear, oh, I wish I watched more TV. Oh, I wish I scrolled more on Instagram.
That was
oh,
on my, no,
I
it was
wish,
not on my deathbed.
I wish I had, watched other people have fun and play sports online. Like, people want to live, they want to do those things. Yeah. And so, I can't tell you how many TVs I've had taken out of the wall or out of the house. But 2.5 hours a day equates to almost 2 months a year doing things that don't really resonate with you. And so, of course, you're going to feel lost or clouded because you're not living in a way that's integral with the truth that you really have. And so the goal is to be honest with how you're spending that time. And then before adding things into your different buckets, getting rid of the stuff that is not supporting that.
It's like an action budget, like budgeting your precious time.
Yeah. I think I used to think about it with the time word, but I think it's more attention. Attention is the most valuable resource because we can have time, but if we're spending it in a way that's not in line with the attention we want, it's really harmful. Yeah. And that's, I think, just growing as more inputs come in.
Yeah. Yes, there's a lot of external forces vying and buying for our attention.
Yeah, I mean, I like to say if you're hearing something that's resonating with you, just pause the podcast, go do the thing that's resonating with you, do the exercise, apply the deathbed values to your life, start eliminating things now. Don't listen to the rest of the podcast right now. Do that thing. You got a lot of value from it. Yeah. Then you come back and listen if you like. I don't want to tell people not to listen to your podcast, but I want them.
No. I love that invitation to press pause. Energetically lie on your deathbed, take inventory, get clear. Huge fan of that. I also just want to send gratitude to the listeners. Like, if you're taking the time to consume this content in whatever way you are, thank you for your attention. Thanks for being here. I think actually in the book that I wrote, it's called Ready to Rise, How to Find Your Path to Peace and Purpose. And what I talk about is the shift necessary to be able to get clear on what's true for me. And it requires stillness. It requires that pause to tap into what is uniquely, inherently true for me. And in a world that has us very externalized, very distracted, it can be really rebellious, I think, to slow down enough to pause and turn inward. Any practices that you have, as again, I perceive you as an athlete. I know you fascinate me because of your layers. You're deeply flexible and incredibly strong. You can go long and slow, and I'm sure short and fast. I teased it out in the very beginning, but one of my favorite tricks of yours, do you know what it is?
No.
It's the half court handstand basketball shot. So Mike goes to half court. He's got a basketball on the ground. He does a freestanding handstand. So he's on his hands, feet are in the air, not supported by a wall or a human or anything. He then puts the majority of his weight on which hand?
On my left hand.
Majority of the weight on his left hand. While balancing himself, he takes his right hand, he scoops the basketball, and from half court upside down, sinks a shot.
Yep.
And it's been captured on video. He's done it maybe.
I've done it a bunch. Actually, a good reminder. That's a great way for me to play.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't done that in a while. I got to get back to my half court shot.
Yes, please. But yeah, again, just, I don't even know where I was going with that. But you're so dynamic. And so, How do you slow down when you find yourself caught up in like, all right, I'm training for a 50-mile race, I'm doing Guinness World Record, my coaching practices, a big part of my attention. Where do you go to slow down and tune in?
I really go to movement. I think like
Mm.
it can be different for everyone,
Yeah.
but for me, if I if I don't move my body, then it's very hard for me to slow down.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's ways I can look into that more, but I do like using my physicality as a way to reflect afterwards. So something I've been doing on my runs recently is like saving the last half mile to just walk. And I will just like run hard and then I'll walk for the next half mile. And in that moment, certain things will come up for me. And that's where, I'll be able to reflect on some of those thoughts, because I do feel like I was just in a very authentic spot with my movement.
Yeah.
And so that's one way I enjoy slowing down.
Love that. Is daily movement non-negotiable for you?
I mean, I can't sit in a chair all day for sure. Yeah. But it's not like I have to get it in. Like, if I'm traveling or there's a bunch of stuff going on, I'll sleep. Sleep's more important to me than like getting 6 hours of sleep, but getting like an hour workout in. I'd rather sleep the 8 hours and then get a bigger workout in, the next day. So I'm also really in tune with my nervous system, and that's how I like to think about a lot of my output. And so everything requires a different amount, and I think of it, it's kind of corny, but like, you ever play Mortal Kombat? So you have your life on the bottom. I'll think of that with my energy or my nervous system. And so throughout the day I kind of have like a little ticker in my head of like, okay, where am I at? And then I can raise it back up. I can do some breath work, I can take a nap, I can jump into a sauna, and I'll kind of gain a little bit. But a big run or a big intensive lift, like that's definitely going to lifting, like in some of the ways I like to do it, takes a lot of that nervous system coordination and development. Which is fun because I can literally feel my brain like working in those types of ways. But learning new things, working with clients, similar way. It's like I like solving puzzles.
Energy giving.
Yeah, totally.
I love that Mortal Kombat. Just for the dad who's like a big gamer in the past and like knows what their lifespan is at all times when you're playing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think about that with Remy. Like he will, if I have like a really stressful day, right, and I come back home, I know that I'm a little bit lower, so then I just re-gauge my expectations.
The word I like is capacity. Like you're coming home, that your capacity might be a little bit lower. And so maybe he's like, hey, I want to do all these things. Maybe you're like, have you asked your mom to play with you or something?
Yeah, I think that can be nice too, checking in. Like Kelly and I will do that every so often. We're pretty good and like in tune with each other in that. But I'll have clients who will, before they come in the door, they'll shoot a message of like, if 1 is I have no capacity and 10 is I have the most, like where we're at. So that when you come in and you engage with each other, you already know a little bit of where someone's at. And so then you can, adjust, say, hey, we're not cooking tonight. We're going to do something else. Or we need to cancel the plan, or we need to get to bed early, or whatever the action is. It's just like finding that teamwork. It's been really helpful.
Cool. And as a, again, competitive athlete, do you use any apps, wearables, tools to specifically track your nervous system state? Or is that more of like an intuitive felt sense of where you're at?
So I got Garmin. I've worked with Garmin actually for a few years now. And I'd really like it for heart rate, honestly. I feel like that's the most easy way to track it. Like if I'm getting sick or if I'm overtraining, I'll notice my morning heart rate being a little bit higher. And so I might back it off a little bit.
Sure.
But it'll give me like a sleep score. It's not perfect. It'll give me a HRV. It's not perfect, but I think the heart rate's pretty good, and I can definitely tell like where I'm at. But now I can also feel it. And I do like playing in the extremes, and so I know kind of what those extremes feel like. And then if I'm not going after those, I can kind of handle in the middle and hang in the middle. But those are extremes, are like my extremes. And the more I'll push them, the farther they'll go. And I like pushing on the walls and seeing what's possible. But it has to come from a really intrinsically motivated place. And so like a Turkish get up as is a great example. Like, does it really matter that I can Turkish get up, a bunch of weight? Like, no, not at all. But it's fun to let myself explore the old time lifts and to learn about my shoulder articulation and to learn about my focus and like, where do I put my attention and what works and what doesn't work. And there was another lift called Two Hands Anyhow, where it's basically the rules of the lift are pretty simple. Like, you have to start with 2 separate weights on the ground and you finish with them over your head. And so you can do it any way you want. You could like just pick up 2 dumbbells, curl them and press them. You could pick up a kettlebell, lift it up, and then bend over and pick up a dumbbell. But the most weight accumulated overhead is the final score.
Okay.
So for me, I'm like, sweet, fun puzzle. Like, let's
learning,
go for
physicality, wellness. Yeah, ticks a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
And keep going. Where'd you end up on that spectrum?
Oh, so like what were the weights that I lifted?
If you want to share.
Yeah, I mean, it was so I would use a barbell in one hand, and then I would use a kettlebell in the other hand. And so like, the weights it was accumulated over 400 pounds. So it was like 300 plus in the top hand and 75 in the bottom.
Nice.
But I had to like allow myself to believe that was even possible.
Yeah.
And so that's a concept I've been exploring in all different aspects of my life. Like, what is the ceiling that I'm putting on myself in terms of being a third parent, being maybe a future parent, being a athlete, like, especially with a world record, like, it's never been done before. So there's no framework on how to do it. So you really have to trust, like, when a lot of people are telling you, that's so dumb to lift 300 pounds over your head with one hand. You're going to hurt yourself. It's going to drop on you. But just knowing that you have that intuition and more so like attuneness to the weight, because I'm holding it over my head. Like every hair of movement, I'm picking up on. I'm making micro adjustments. It's not just like I just did it day one. Yeah. And so it brings me to the concept of bag. I like to do a lot of hand balancing. Yeah. Sometimes with half court shots, but just in general. And I never think of it as I'm balancing, but I'm always rebalancing. Yes. Because I'm constantly falling. I'm just, the faster my brain can recognize that I'm falling, I can make the appropriate adjustment. Sure. And so it's a great way I think about with my life. Like I'm never trying to find balance in my life. I'm trying to build more skills and capacity to rebalance. And one of those is like slowing down and being more peaceful is a great tool for recognizing when am I going too far in one direction and do I have the skill to like dial it back so I can stay in this place that feels good.
Feel that. Yeah, really, really strong. I'm getting to that place of kind of final curiosities here. You teased a little one. You mentioned the word future father, and I just wanted to ask a vulnerable question. Is being parent number one, biological parent, something on the life bucket list?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to, be a father.
Yeah, awesome. You'd make an excellent one.
Oh, thank you.
You already do. And then my curiosity number two, you've talked about some of the extremes. What's kind of on the horizon for something you're pushing towards?
There's always like things that are kind of thrown at the wall. And then I like to think like, hey, what really wants to stick here? Yeah. And looking at how I'm spending that attention. And so I'm actually in school now at the University of Pennsylvania studying positive psychology. And so for me, that's a big deal. Totally. Like I never thought I would go to like a prestigious university like that. I never thought I would be in a place to do that. Like I was not a great student in high school. I liked to learn, but I didn't like to learn the things I didn't like to learn. Yes. And so that's where a lot of my focus is now. It's like diving into that program. It's big investment. There's a lot of things that I'm like betting on myself, I guess, in
Yeah.
a way. So I'm focusing on that, but then physically, it's doing what's called the Lead Challenge, which is in Leadville, Colorado. There are a lot of ultra endurance races, and the story is there was a mine in Leadville. The town's at 10,000 feet, and the mine went under in the late 80s or early 80s, and the town kind of went from boom to bust. And so one of the guys in town heard about this race called Western States out in California, and it's a 100-mile race in the mountains. And he's like looking out, and he's like, "We have incredible mountains. Like, let's do a mountain race here, bring some tourism in, and try to like survive." And so the Leadville 100 Trail Run started 42 years ago. And since then, the race has expanded. There's a 100-mile mountain bike race. There's a 10K. There's marathons. There's 50-mile races. And so the Lead Challenge is doing essentially all of those races in one summer. So that's what I'm currently training for next year, 2026.
I'm feeling I'm feeling a lot of energy from that. You know, for the first time in our whole conversation, there was like trepidation in your voice when you shared what was coming through. But then after explaining the Lead Challenge and knowing what I know about you, I trust that's a deeply personal, physical, spiritual, psychological puzzle that will be unfolding for you over the next year plus.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. Like I finished the 100-mile race. Not this, it happened like a couple weeks ago. So the year before that, and I was second to last place. I'm a strength athlete.
Yeah.
Like, so to put myself in a place that I don't have a lot of like confidence in, I guess, it's fun to like be in that beginner spot and to learn and push myself mentally to believe that I'm capable of doing that. And it's also easier to train. It sounds kind of crazy, but it's easier to train for that than it would be to train for like a heavier two hands anyhow or a heavier lift. Like lifting like that on my body, it takes so much of that attention. It's like a super nice sports car, right? Like it's going to use a ton of gas.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, this ultra endurance stuff, like this morning I ran 8.5 miles. And so I feel great. Like I have a lot of energy. It didn't beat me up. And I'm like, oh, wow, cool. I like got a lot of good aerobic training in. I was outside. I felt, great about the training. And I'm mentally feel super sharp. So that's one it's easier to track as well. Like, yeah, there was a lot going into the other record. Yeah. Just a lot of attention. Yeah. And this was, it's kind of more mindless.
Heads down and just, get the miles in.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool. Mike, we've traversed a lot of terrain today. I'm really grateful for your shares, your experience, your wisdom. Any final thoughts or feels that you want to externalize before we put a bow on it?
Okay. Have you talked about the shoulding on the podcast in the past?
I have not, but
Okay, I'm like on a mission to eliminate those words should from the dictionary. Yeah. So I'll give my should spiel.
Lay it on us.
Basically, the word should is a gray word. And so it's based off other people's expectations for the way we need to live our life. I should run ultramarathons. I should get up earlier. I should work out more. I should make more money. I should whatever. And when you eliminate the word should, and you insert the words want or don't want, it forces you to take ownership over your actions and then ownership over your life. And it forces you to make a decision, which is what it is that you really want to do. And, I can sit here and say, just, do you want to or do you not? And it's like, it's hard to figure out what do I want. And a lot of those decisions can be like 51%, I want this, 49, I don't. And people will quickly get into this pros and cons list. And then it's easy to go to someone else or to Google, well, what should I wear? What should I do here? Versus building the trust in yourself to say, okay, I'm going to go with the 51%, maybe take a few steps in that direction and then revisit it. Do I actually want this? And make those adjustments. So if you're someone that struggles with any type of self-doubt or anxiety, or other people that do, just listen to the word should and eliminate that word.
Eliminate the shoulds. I'm wholeheartedly 100% behind that. I write about it in my book as well. And I think should is a major barrier to peace.
Mm-hmm.
I should meditate. I should be able to sit still. I should be over that relationship that I'm still stuck on. I should be making more money. Like there's so many of those conditions, those shoulds that get in the way of just being in acceptance, being true to ourselves, and then from that place being even a little bit more at peace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they create expectations.
Yeah.
But I'm reading a book now, The Expectation Effect, and it's just how the expectations that we put on ourselves like really drive the bus of our life. And so making sure that you're putting the expectations that you want versus ones that your parents want or your friends or whatever it is.
Yeah. Cool. Ending with a bang. You heard it here. Drop the shoulds. Scream into the mountain. Close your eyes. Lie on your deathbed. I got a lot of wisdom from your shares today. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention and the colorful journey that you've been on. And if something for the listeners inspired, wanting to connect with you, what's a good way to find Mike Aidala?
You can find me on my website, theoffense.co. The Offense is the name of my coaching company, help people live life on offense. Or you can email me at mike@theoffense.co, or I'm on Instagram too.
Cool.
Mike.Aidala.
Awesome. Mike Aidala, thanks for your time. Guys, thanks for listening, and have a peaceful rest of your day.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. You've been listening to the Peaceful Papa Podcast. May the wisdom you found here ripple into your being, your family, your community, and the world at large. I look forward to being with you again soon. See you on the next episode.